Last night I was lucky enough to catch the upcoming movie Last Breath at an advanced screening, so let's talk about it. Hey, welcome back to the video, a brand new movie review. Today I'm talking all about the upcoming movie Last Breath that drops in cinemas here in the UK on March 14th. I called it an advanced screening yesterday evening before I start talking about it. Just a friendly reminder, as always, these are just my thoughts, so this dictates whether or not you decide to go and see the film. You might see it when it comes out and feel totally differently to me, and that is okay because movies aren't made to cater for everyone. Without any further ado, let's start talking about it. And before I do, yes, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. That is a Paddington poster. And this is a Paddington stand that's currently being displayed with a Paddington cinema poster. But do you know what? It adds to the vibe, and it can confirm that, yes, I did buy Paddington on DVD when it came out. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Last Breath. Now, I went into the screen knowing nothing, really. The only thing I knew about this film was the fact that it was to do with people diving underwater, and one of them got stranded, and it was a true story. That is all I knew, and this honestly blew me away. Like I say, I had really little to no expectations for this film, but actually, I watched it and I was totally blown away. It was so good. The score for this film was incredible, and I was hooked from start to finish. And it's only a 90-minute film. This film has only got an hour and a half runtime, but it felt longer because I felt like I really got to know these people and kind of developed quite a personal relationship with them on screen. And you know, I feel like that's a good thing when you get to know the people that you're watching. Otherwise you're kind of forced into these emotional situations, but actually you don't feel any emotion for characters because you haven't developed a bond. But I really developed a bond between these characters in the way that this film was made, and therefore, like, when these really emotional scenes came across, I was feeling emotional, and I was feeling, you know, worry and panic for these people, you know, and that shows it was done well. I really like the way that they presented this film. You know, a lot of it is like a film, but there's a lot of it that's presented in a documentary type way, and I love it. I love documentaries, I love biographies, I love autobiographies, I like all of that type of stuff, and so I really like the way that they did this film. But they did it in an even clever way, because even cleverer, I should say, when they did some of the camera placements, because when they were like underwater, you know, in these little metal lock cabins, the cameras were like the people above water would see them, if that makes sense. And I just thought that was a really clever, a bit of an ingenious way of making this film. I just thought it really suited the film and the way that they presented it, because it was a documentary type film. But honestly, this absolutely blew me away, and the fact that this is a true story is utterly remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Now, like I say, I don't like to spoil films in my movie reviews. However, this is kind of a hard film to not spoil, so if you do want to skip the spoilers, I shall insert a timestamp on the video that you can cut to now, and it will skip all the spoilers. But I shall start talking about them in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you stayed for the spoilers. Obviously, when this guy is left unconscious underwater without air for 29 minutes, there's no way in hell that he got up to the top of the surface, he came back from this mission and just walked straight out and went home. There had to have been, and I read similar reviews feeling the same way, there had to have been some medical intervention, surely. Like, he had to have been checked out by medical professionals, like he had to have had an assessment. And I feel like they dragged out the whole scene of him being rescued, when actually it would have been more interesting to cut that down a little bit and add a little bit more of his recovery, you know, and how he explained the whole situation with his wife, his fiance, sorry. Because although they did include that, I feel like that's a really fucking, like, scary thing to come home to. Like, imagine your partner coming back to you and saying, I was unconscious underwater for 29 minutes, I should not be alive. That is a really scary thing to do, and I feel like that would have been so good to have explored a little bit more in the film, if I'm being totally honest with you. So I do feel like they missed out a little bit of an opportunity there. But what a remarkable thing, like the fact that this is a true story, and the fact that he was underwater without oxygen for 29 minutes and still survived is just totally breathtaking. And the fact that 3 weeks later, after that whole incident, he went back and finished the mission he started. I mean, incredible. Incredible, incredible, incredible. And I really like these types of things that are like on the edge of your seat films, because I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. But this is true. This genuinely happened. I just think is absolutely phenomenal. And that is all I can really say on Last Breath. It is a truly phenomenal film. And I do feel like a lot of reviews being quite harsh about it. I feel like they forget that this is a true story, and that to me is what makes this film so incredible. I feel like if it wasn't a true story, I don't think I would have been as impacted by it. But honestly, remarkable, and it blew me out of the park. I really thoroughly enjoyed this film, and you know, Paddington takes his hat off for it. So this is just really weird having Paddington here, but you know what? The set is the set, and this is how it's gonna be. I might take it away next time I do a movie review, and then put it back after I finish recording. Anyway, that is all I've got to say on Last Breath. Hello to all of you that are joining me again, that skipped the spoiler section. Before I wrap up this movie review, as always, what do I rate it out of 10, and will I be buying it on DVD? Well, I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. You know, it started off and I thought, no, I'm not really going to gel with this film, but honestly, once I got into it, and it is thoroughly deserving of a 7 out of 10 from me. And will it be joining the DVD collection? Well, yes, I can. I do have an idea of owning this movie on DVD. Hopefully it gets a DVD release, and in which case I will be buying it. But there you go. There's everything I've got to say on Last Breath. It's in UK cinemas across the UK, obviously, on March 14th. That was embarrassing. And as always, in the description below is the movie plot, a link to the movie trailer, as well as a link to my movie review playlist. It features every single movie review that I've ever done, including Paddington in Peru. That's down there somewhere. And there's many more to come very soon. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in another video very soon.